Yeah, lenders are so helpful in these circumstances. That would be the first call I would make.
Yeah.
No question about it. I mean, there's obviously other exit paths. You can sell, you can partner with a realtor. The realtors tend to be first in things like HESCA, so they know how to protect you. You've got cancellation rights and all these sort of things. I get nervous for individuals when they start to consider like, okay, I just got to sell it. And someone called me and offered me cash.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scammers out there.
There's a lot of sharks out there. And I do worry about the elderly community, right?
Oh my gosh,
because they're very susceptible to what I'd refer to as the scum of the earth.
Yeah.
And you know, if you look at your phone for an hour, you're going to get 5 robocalls, right? Because landlines no longer exist.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the program. I'm your host, Jason Thibodeau with the Mortgage Lounge. I have my special guest with me today, Lauren Roberts with RE/MAX Select One. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
It's an interesting time in the market.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to dive right in. It's not just seasonally slower because the school year started, it's holiday season, but it's a bit of a weird time economically.
Yeah, economically, no question.
Yeah, we're in the midst of a government shutdown. That's on its 14th day today, I believe.
Too long.
With no real light at the end of the tunnel from what I can tell.
Doesn't seem like it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's so sort of unprecedented times, and this is coupled with what appears to be a weakening labor market. Now, I'm a lender, right? Mm-hmm. You're a realtor. Mm-hmm. We're in Orange County. What is a light at the end of the tunnel, not just to be negative, but to give some people hope.
There's always hope.
There's always hope. Is bad news sometimes is good news, because what do interest rates do when the what hits the fan with economic? Yes, when labor market weakens.
Traditionally, when labor markets weaken, interest rates typically go down.
Right.
Yeah.
And really, while they're not as low as we'd like to see them, they've come down pretty considerably, all things considered, right? Like we're at maybe 6.25 on an average 30-year fix. Okay. That being said, there are plenty of products that have a 5 handle now, right?
15-year?
15-year, some jumbo arms, FHA, VA, so government products. Speaking of government products, government shutdown, right?
I know, we should talk about that.
Yeah, like I'm going to give you the floor. What should people be thinking about during this government shutdown in terms of like impact on their ability to get a loan or close?
Yeah, I mean, you have to think about government programs, right? So you previously mentioned FHA, you mentioned VA. Those are government-related programs, and so those could be slower or halted. And in addition to that, if you think about where you are purchasing a home physically, is it in a flood zone? You've got...
It's a great tip.
The National Flood Insurance.
Yeah, FEMA.
Yep. And so that's also going to affect the ability to what?
Yes.
You know this? Get a loan.
Yeah.
So
yeah, in Huntington and plenty of other areas, you pull up the FEMA flood map, and part of Huntington is in fact in a flood zone, in many parts of Orange County or coastal Orange County, right?
Exactly.
Obviously parts of LA too. So if you're not thinking about that stuff, you get yourself excited, you get your offer accepted, maybe you got an FHA or VA loan. I'm not saying we can't close, okay? There are, I think, HUD, Housing and Urban Development, for which oversees FHA, has a skeleton staff still assigning FHA case numbers and doing things to a certain extent. Just don't expect speed. Right? So we're not necessarily saying you can't close. There's generally always a solution. FEMA flood insurance, right? But there's also something called private flood insurance. I think Lloyd's of London is the one that issues that. Maybe they restrict the amount of policies. They don't want too much market share, right? Or the risk. There's a lot to think about. There
is. And just kind of teetering off of this, I'm curious what you have seen thus far just this week as it relates to the, like, I know you got to get IRS tax verification and stuff like that. Has that been hard?
It has. Yeah. You're just having to make decisions on an underwriting basis that's case by case, right? A lot of times we're going to let the results of the 4506T is what we call it. I got to be careful with mortgage lingo. Like, people know what the heck that even means. Yeah. So in a basic loan application, a lot of times lenders want to verify with the IRS that the tax returns you provided them with the W-2s you provided them with actually match what the IRS has on file. It's a fraud deterrent.
Sure.
This was a brainchild of subprime era 2008, right? Dodd-Frank in 2010. Everything got a lot more uptight, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, we don't want another 2008.
Yeah. So we are dealing with those kinds of things. But I will say, surprisingly, we haven't really felt too much pain.
Good.
We're making decisions to help borrowers close escrow successfully.
Good.
That being said, at some point, we'd like to see this government closure come to an end, because it will eventually become painful.
I do think, too, in this market, cash buyers have a huge advantage, right? And so...
You're talking about baby boomers.
Yeah, baby boomers. Yes, I know. So here's what's
interesting.
So there are programs out there available, and many realtors, well, I don't know how many realtors, but some realtors for sure know about these, where there are companies that will purchase your property within a time frame that you've defined. So say you want to purchase a house and you want it to close in 30 days. They purchase your property, say, at day 27. So then they coordinate the cash flow so that you can do a cash offer, which is kind of interesting. And there's quite a few of them. They're typically tech empowered. So that's another option for individuals that,
So we have somewhat similar product.
Do you?
We do.
I'm going to use it.
There's 3 layers to it. The main thing that's pretty exciting is we have something called a backup contract.
Okay.
All right. So one of the things keeping people from buying is they're stuck in their existing home.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I understand they got a 2.5% or 3.5% interest rate or something along those lines. That's one deterrent. They don't want to give that up. But let's just say they get past that. They need to move. They need more square footage.
Sure.
Well, you have a family. You have kids, maybe pets, all that. How realistic is it for somebody to sell that home first?
It's hard.
It's really hard.
It's really hard.
Right? But
especially in the market right now.
Yeah. But the catch-22, right? Because high prices, high interest rates, high everything. But the catch-22 is with these folks, they can't usually, with some exception, afford both payments.
Sure.
Right? Because what can allow people to buy first and then sell at their convenience is if they have enough income to support both mortgage payments.
Right.
But who really wants to do that? Not a lot.
Given the interest rates.
Given interest rates. But even if they wanted to, it's tough to qualify for that. So this backup contract, we have a lender that issues a backup contract. Okay. And essentially they're in escrow, but not really.
Okay.
They get 6 months to sell. But the fact that they're in a non-contingent contract means that we don't have to consider that payment anymore, right? So now they don't have to qualify for both payments. Now the other obstacle is, do they have the money, right?
just a minor obstacle.
Yeah, and look, again, some people have the liquidity, can put 20 more or less % down, and we're okay. Then great. If not, we have product for that too. So we can do a bridge loan.
Okay. Yes.
Bridge loans can be expensive, so we don't look at that as the first option. The easiest option is to take a home equity line of credit, which generally is very inexpensive. It's $1,000 in fees to get a HELOC, right, against their existing residence. Now we have down payment for the new home. That's the best way to do it. But worst case, if you can't, we have a bridge loan, finance up to 95% of the value of the main property, which of course they'll refinance afterwards.
Okay, speaking of HELOCs, did you hear about the new law that was passed related to quote unquote zombie mortgages, which felt so
zombie mortgages?
Yes. So apparently in the state of California, we passed a law that went into effect, I think it went into effect in July. Don't quote me on that, but it was this year. And it's making it harder to foreclose on these quote unquote zombie mortgages, which could be like a HELOC that suddenly disappeared and then comes back for a foreclosure, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I have not heard of that.
There are mixed reviews on what people think about this.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't have a strong stance on it, but I just...
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Yeah, it might become more part of the conversation these days. We mentioned earlier in the conversation the labor market's weakening. We've got the AI factor that's going to continue to become problematic for employees potentially.
Yeah.
Having, if not their job replaced, they're going to be required to use it in some fashion. And I guess the point is, the labor market weakening is eventually, if this continues, is eventually going to lead to layoffs, which is eventually going to lead to people having trouble with their mortgage. Right?
I know.
I'm certainly not putting that out there in the sense that I don't want that to happen.
No.
It does appear to be slowly but surely the direction we're heading, unless, of course, the Fed finally comes around.
Is there any wood in here?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. There we go.
It's pretty frustrating from a lender's standpoint with the Federal Reserve and their stubbornness with their willingness to reduce interest rates.
Yeah.
I'm not political. I'm not siding with the administration or anything like that. But the reality is we're 3+ years into this higher for longer interest rate policy. And
we see people every day and what they're saying, right? So it's not political. It's just experiential of what we experience on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. And like when you talk about Wall Street being really high, stocks and equities being really high, that has nothing to do with Main Street, right? No. Sure, people contributing to their 401ks, that's fine. I understand. But your average middle class, more or less, consumer, that isn't reflective of their situation. They're sometimes single income, families with kids, life happens, unexpected expenses.
Right.
So the reality is, I think we are way behind the curve, and we need to aggressively cut interest rates to avoid what we're potentially talking about here.
I mean, we've already seen it, right?
Yeah.
I think the statistic was 17% increase in number of foreclosures, which is very sad and disheartening to see.
It is.
We don't want to see more of that. But if you were stuck with an ARM loan from a while ago, you're probably facing a surprise. I mean, in a way, not a surprise because you know how ARM loans work, but in a way, a financial surprise just given what happened to our economy. And so some relief and pressure for individuals, I think, is really key. Yeah. It's been a long road for, I think, a too big of number of people.
You're right. You make a good point on the ARMs too. If you're listening to this and you have an ARM and it's nearing expiration, it is potentially problematic. There's generally caps, so it can only go up so much in the first adjustment and so much every year. You're protected to a certain extent, but if you're asleep at the wheel on that and you have an ARM that's expiring its fixed period soon, you do at least want to have a conversation with the lender that can look at your situation and determine best course of action. Because with a higher short-term interest rate environment, when it does adjust, of course, that interest rate is going up. It's different from like pre-COVID, right? Because what a lot of people were freaking out about with ARMs pre-COVID was, oh my gosh, it's adjusting soon. And I would have the conversation with them and say, well, the good news is your interest rate's going down a whole %.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, what?
Woo,
right?
Right now.
Those are the days of short-term rates being low. These are the days of short-term rates being high. Therefore, adjustables are going to go up when they adjust.
Now, kind of on the topic of just ARMs or just, sadly, foreclosures, I think a lot of individuals don't always know what some of their potential exit paths can look like. And it doesn't have to be a foreclosure. It doesn't have to be a lot of different scenarios. There's a lot of options from the lending side to help individuals in that circumstance. So would you be willing to share what you've seen?
Sure.
What you've done?
Yeah.
People?
Well, the good news is most lenders and servicing companies have something called the loss mitigation department, and generally will offer you a forbearance.
Right.
And a forbearance, if you don't know what that already is, it basically is a stay on the mortgage payment where let's say they carve out 6 months where you no longer have to make the mortgage payment to give you some breathing room. Now, that doesn't mean that time is paused in the sense that what happens to that interest that you're not addressing? Well, it gets added to the balance of the loan. So you're still going to be responsible for that. They're just giving you cash flow relief. And potentially you can have that extended. Servicing companies aren't all created equal. But if you're in that position, start the conversation now. Right?
Yeah.
And then also talk to a lender like myself or somebody trustworthy, because you might be in a position to readjust things if it hasn't gone catastrophic yet, right? Because I will tell you from a coaching standpoint, the moment you go late on your mortgage and creditors are reporting you at least 30 days later more, your ability to get a mortgage is mostly out the window. So if you can avoid having that happen, talk to a lender first, I'd say. And if the lender confirms, yeah, you're not quite qualified, that's when you call the servicing company and try to negotiate a forbearance. Generally speaking, they'll give you 6 months.
Yeah, I think that's a really good option. I'm also curious what you have seen in terms of short sales. Now, they're obviously with different types of solutions in these scenarios.
Yeah.
They have different credit impacts,
Yeah.
right? So missing some mortgage payments, obviously there's going to be a hit there. You can recover it as you pay it back or whatever it might be. Short sales tend to have a bigger hit.
Yeah.
Right? But it is another
Short sales
option.
better than a foreclosure.
It's for sure better than
Yeah,
a foreclosure.
yeah.
That's a 7-year hit, right? So
Yeah, my hope is, I know short sales are still a thing today. It's just on a much smaller percentage basis than it was right after the great financial crisis. We were very well versed with short sales back then. These days, I rarely hear about them, but that doesn't mean it's not going to become more of a thing right now as, economically things slow down. I really hope not. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
That changes will be made
Yeah.
to help us through.
If we can get rates to a reasonable level within a quarter or two, I think the economy starts to show some life. And I don't mean Wall Street. I'm talking about Main Street and the labor market and just supporting lower class and middle class human beings.
Yeah.
As far as short sale, like the basic rules, I believe, if I remember correctly, it's 2 years from the short sale before you can start getting pre-qualified for another mortgage. So what's nice is it's not the kiss of death, right?
No.
Like you're not sentenced for life to never getting a loan again, even with foreclosures. But foreclosures, it's 7 years, right? So you want to avoid that if you can. And again, always feel free to call somebody like myself and start picking their brain.
Yeah, lenders are so helpful in these circumstances. That would be the first call I would make.
Yeah.
No question about it. I mean, there's obviously other exit paths. You can sell, you can partner with a realtor. The realtors tend to be first in things like HESCA, so they know how to protect you. You've got cancellation rights and all these sort of things. I get nervous for individuals when they start to consider like, okay, I just got to sell it. And someone called me and offered me cash.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scammers out there.
There's a lot of sharks out there. And I do worry about the elderly community. Right?
Oh my gosh,
because they're very susceptible to what I'd refer to as the scum of the earth.
Yeah.
And if you look at your phone for an hour, you're going to get 5 robocalls, right? Because landlines no longer exist.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
It's maddening. I by the way, optoutprescreen.com. That's optoutprescreen.com. You go on there if you haven't done it. You can opt out for 5 years electronically. It takes less than 3 minutes. I'm not saying that that's going to remove all the calls, but it will remove some of the calls. So for whatever that's worth.
I need to do that.
Yeah.
I'm noting it to myself, so I'm going to go home and do that.
And we had a anti-trigger lead law passed as well. So
talk to me about that.
Yeah, well, it's not in effect yet, but it's I think at some point, first or second quarter of next year, Congress finally came to make this happen. So when we ran a hard inquiry, and sometimes even a soft inquiry into your credit, but especially a hard inquiry on your credit is required when we're formally proceeding on a home purchase, okay? And the moment we run that credit, you're going to get, in the first 24 hours, upwards of 50 phone calls, okay? Because the credit bureaus, they're horrible. I hate the credit system. I really do. They sell all your data instantaneously to multiple vendors across the country, right? So you're going to immediately get 50 phone calls, and then, of course, that's going to continue for the next 3 to 6 months. And maybe not 50 a day, but you'll be getting those phone calls. It's maddening. In the law, the anti-trigger lead law that was passed is designed to reduce that down to a trickle. So we're all breathing a huge sigh of relief in the industry because it's a bummer, right?
Yeah.
Like, we've done the hard work to earn the business of this client, and then immediately 50 competitors every single day for the next 30 days.
It's not right.
They're trying to take our business.
Yeah, it's not right. It's just not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good news because it's not going to be happening soon enough.
What do you think about the other law that was just passed?
Which one?
So, oh my gosh, AB one something, but don't quote me on this, obviously. But it was essentially like a new housing law where more housing can be built along areas with high public transit.
Oh, interesting.
And they can be up to 9 stories tall.
We're talking about like 405 freeway stuff, or
so like I think they said bus lines. We should go back and double fact check all of this. I'd read it the other day and I was like, what?
Maybe we could put the link in the description.
We'll put the link in the description. Okay. I'll find it. But I was like, oh my gosh, 9-story properties, and it was for LA, Orange County, like main counties.
I do remember hearing about this, but I never personally looked into it.
It'll be interesting. I'm curious what people think about it. I also
almost reminds me of New York City in a little way.
Yeah.
Right?
California is enabling more housing near transit through a new law, SB 79.
SB 79.
Signed in October, which overrides local zoning laws in designated areas.
I'm going to start calling you Thanks, Jamie. Joe Rogan reference. Thank you, Corey.
Can you edit that in and talk over me? Because I clearly don't know the number. I just read and then I absorb the main content.
It's totally fine. Yeah, people do it all the time on podcasts. Corey, thank you.
No, it's just I think it will be interesting because we're seeing so many, for lack of a better term, like beehive-ish buildings now. We're seeing them here in Huntington, Irvine.
Tell me what you mean by beehive-ish.
Meaning like, compact, lots of units.
Dense housing,
Dense housing, And I think that can be a good thing in terms of getting housing for individuals that need it.
Yeah.
I also think there are implications in traffic and all, like zoning is,
Yeah, so high level, why is this happening? California government, state government, has decided we need more housing, right?
For sure.
And we're not talking about bougie housing. We're talking about affordable housing.
To sit in.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I understand the intent, but as always, there's unintended consequences. Like I think Huntington Beach, the attorney for Huntington Beach is in a battle with the state of California, because I think we're being required to, I don't know what the number is, like 10, 20,000 affordable housing units. And our government and city council is like, well, where are we going to put them? Right.
Yeah, it's a
without
fair
detrimental impact
question
to quality of life for everyone. And that's just a micro viewpoint of one city and what they're up against, because this is a statewide requirement, as I understand it, and now they're battling in court on this stuff.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's like housing is such a hard thing to solve.
Yeah.
And yet it's probably the most important thing to keep our eye on. So I appreciate, whether you're for it or against it, I appreciate.
Well, you understand that the problem does exist.
Right.
What the solution is the hard part. Like they've done the small things, like loosened up guidelines for ADUs, right? Because they're encouraging that, which I think is a great solution.
It's a great solution.
And obviously we want more affordable housing. I'm a big proponent of that, but how that gets implemented is the question.
That's the question. It'll be interesting.
Right. Are we trying to shove a square peg into a round hole and tell Huntington Beach to put 20,000 affordable housing units, right? Or maybe we talk about places with a little bit more developmental land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I don't know, like the world of AI, technology, virtual meetings. I don't understand why we are holding on to the past so much. Like the reason these freeways are congested is we're forcing lower and middle class folks to drive from Orange County to LA County to sit in an office somewhere, right?
Yeah.
That shouldn't necessarily be required, in my opinion. That's just a personal opinion. It's like my ops managers in Bakersfield, I see him once a year. My team processor, 2 of them, both work from home. Okay, one's in Idaho, one's in Marietta. And then a bunch of other loan officers, of course, are hybrid or full-time from home, and some are full-time here. It's like,
did you do the work? Did you do your job?
They do.
They do. That's the question, right? Like you don't need to be in an office to see that.
Yeah.
I think it's a very antiquated way of thinking.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of companies have caught on, although I have seen some transitioning back to more of the in-office, which I think is interesting. But I think that leads to a different potential question or potential problem, which is commercial buildings.
Yeah.
Those have loans on that
right now.
Right? They have loans on that.
Yeah.
So is an interesting speculation that I have seen, and I'm curious actually what your take on it is, maybe that is where the biggest risk, that I don't want to say the 2008 because that was like a housing crisis, but individuals are stating that that equivalent is going to be the case for commercial. What do you think?
Yeah, they're not wrong.
Okay.
You know, the maturing debt. So commercial lending is very different from residential.
Right.
Right. And it's based upon two big differences in terms of like how they value properties is based upon its rents and cash flow.
Right.
Well, if vacancy is way up because a lot of
There's
people
no
are working from home, that property value, if you go on X/Twitter, depending on what you want to call it, and type in commercial lending implosions, you'll see all kinds of examples across the country of properties in 2015 pre-COVID that sold for $100 million that is now selling for $5 million, right? Because 75% of the building is not occupied. And that's what's going on.
We should just rezone. I don't know.
I think so. Rezone, converting to apartments is tough, though, with the commercial building. So
Does it have to be that, though? Like, I've been thinking about the commercial space a
Yeah.
lot. It's interesting because when you go to other states where there's a lot of housing development, the commercial lending is seemingly in a good place
Yeah.
because they need these buildings. They
Mhm.
don't have any. But in other places where you almost had an oversupply, that's a different story.
Every market's different.
Every market's different. I think widely commercial is a little risky right now, but I think there's opportunity to build connection.
Yeah,
If I had $100 million, which I don't, but I will one day,
I like that.
I would be swooping in and trying to rezone these for places of connection.
Yeah.
Because I think in today's environment, we are so remote.
Yeah.
We have so many, we're always on our phones. We're not seeing people as much as we could. So what if we rethought these spaces to drive connection? And I'm not talking retail because retail's largely online. Like I still like to go to a retail store, but maybe there's a new creative opportunity to help drive that. I don't know.
Necessity is the author of invention, is what I'll say. And by the way, should Kodak still exist? No.
What?
Right? Cameras?
It's like,
Cameras.
yeah.
Right? Like the
What's
thing is.
Kodak?
Are you trying to get me back in?
I'm sure you have an opinion on this, Corey. Videographer and photographer extraordinary with 20 plus years of experience. Now, I will tell you that technology moves us forward, whether we want to go with it or not.
Yeah.
And Kodak is just the example, and there are many.
Yes.
And the reality is, it's how we react to it. Like, and in our branch, in our group, we are embracing AI. I have two of our loan officers who are sanctioned and tasked with being our AI guys, our AI gurus. We're doing trainings all the time on it. Like, I've become addicted personally to AI.
I want to know how you're leveraging it.
Yeah. This is like we talked last time, and I have never logged into ChatGPT.
Okay.
Everyone's got a different preference on which AI platform they use, but whatever. I'm just using ChatGPT. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, okay? They're being described from everybody I talk to as the 800-pound gorilla.
Yeah.
That's fine. Maybe they aren't in 6 or 12 months. I don't know. But I spend $20 a month. It's not a big deal for the pro version. And I am literally addicted. Like, I find myself, I was the guy Googling, typing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't type anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't Google anymore. Everything is dictated from my mouth into ChatGPT. I can talk for 5 to 10 minutes into ChatGPT, tell them every granular detail about something I need to propose to a client or a loan officer I'm recruiting or a business plan. And I'm talking talk for 10 minutes in the most granular detail you could possibly imagine, okay? And it's going to spit out something that's going to blow your mind within 10 seconds. It's literally life-changing.
It is.
It is. Oh, like my kids, we were talking about technology and cell phones. I woke up this morning. My kids stole their phones from my bedside, which is our policy every night. I woke up in the morning to them sleeping late.
Okay.
And their phones on their bed. And I was so mad. I was so mad because I'm like, and then I went downstairs and our game room had its lights on.
Oh, so they got up in the middle of the night.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds like
on
my
a
son.
school night. And I'm like, wait a minute. This tells me this is not the first time this has happened.
No.
And I just haven't noticed it.
I've literally gone into my son's bedroom, laid down.
All riled up.
I know, read of a story. And of course, I have my phone next to me because I guess I'm a phone addict as well. So
Yeah.
I can't get too mad at him. But I have my phone next to me. He doesn't have a phone. read him his bedtime story, tuck him in, and I walk away and I forget about it. And I see his hand slide over to my phone and slowly put it under his pillow. I was like,
we have a dopamine addiction problem in this country. And I first words out of my mouth were, I'm sorry I failed you as a parent. Because like the thing of like, you shouldn't be like, look, I set them up for failure. I can take responsibility for that. But what do I expect from 12 and 14-year-old boys? For them to be like, Dad, it's all about delayed gratification. I want to take personal No, it's not going to happen. It's up to parents to be parents, and I didn't do what I knew I needed to do.
You are not alone.
Yeah. I had my light bulb moment, and we're going to sit down. So the point of me telling you this story is I poured my heart out for 5 or 10 minutes into ChatGPT on this.
Oh,
okay.
Did you feel so much better?
Yes.
Did you decide you're going to marry ChatGPT?
And I asked them from all the studies about dopamine in kids and addiction and technology, what their protocol would be to wean them off. Not wean, because there's going to be a cold turkey period for sure.
Yeah.
I took out all the power cords and I took their phones, put it all in a safe. Yep. And I said, I'm not angry. I love you. This is part of my responsibility too. We're going to talk tonight. They wrote me a letter for my boys based upon everything I shared with them, and then gave me a game plan for the next 3 months.
I love it.
And I'm like, oh my God, right? Because we've got basketball court on our cul-de-sac, trampoline out front, pool in the back, greenbelt, dogs, bikes, you name it, board games.
Yeah.
Let's buy some Lego sets. I can be an engaged parent if I choose to be. They won't even feel pain if I choose to be an engaged parent. It's just redirecting, right?
Yeah.
But that all came from ChatGPT.
I know, it is the best.
I'm like, what?
I know. I am obsessed. My husband and I all the time go to it, and just like if there's a problem or if there's like a work dynamic that you're trying to explore and you want to handle it in the appropriate way.
What do you think this looks like 5 years from now? Right?
I don't even want to think about that.
I know. Well, we're all worried about our jobs, right?
I don't know. I think, like I said in the last time we talked, it's good and bad, right? Like, it's how you use it. You can use it for good, like you did in this case.
Like anything else in life.
You can use it for bad. You
like
can go
anything else in
scheme.
life.
Yeah. I think it's funny, too, because I got not actually mad, but I was, like, joking with my mother the other day because she goes, Lauren, I think my house is worth X dollars because that's what Zillow said. And I was like, have I taught you nothing? I'm a realtor. Don't know how many times have I told you not to trust Zillow. I was like so mad at her.
I understand.
Not really. I mean, like slightly irritated, but more in a joking way. And so I sent her ChatGPT, our new little friend. They have this little like you know the section where you can choose like pre-made, pre-created concepts and you can integrate it. And I actually put this on my Instagram the other day. It will say like, tell me what your address is, tell me about your house, and then it pulls up all of the different values from Realtor.com, like Zillow, all of them, and compiles, and they're all different. And so I said, I was like, see,
and some of them can be completely out of left field.
Totally.
Right? Yeah.
Totally. So I just think it's funny because even like the little ways you can creatively use it. And obviously I was teasing her, but I thought, hey, this is actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
So when people are talking about their home values, you can send them this little link that you got from ChatGPT and it can output it and they can go, gosh, this doesn't look right.
Cool. Yeah.
So
if you call Valvoline at certain locations, I've just had this experience. Not all of them have AI integrated yet, but when you call them, the ones that have AI integrated, you know, normally you get the standardized call center stuff or the robocall thing, right? Press one if you want to.
I can't stand
Well, the AI integrated ones, obviously, you know, you're not talking to a human. I'm not saying that. But if you say, hey, you know, I want to get this oil change. How much does it cost for a synthetic? And it's a prompt, it immediately responds. But then you're like, I'm sorry, I have an alligator in my trunk and I don't know what to do. Can I still bring it in for the oil change? They're like, well, no, we don't. We can't do that with an alligator in the trunk, but here's a contact phone number for animal services. And I'm like, this is Valvoline.
Did you really do that?
Yeah, I did. Like, it's like,
oh my
it
gosh.
is mind blowing because we're only scratching the surface on what this is going to become. Like, what if 10 or 15 years from now, quantum computers are combined with AI, right?
Okay.
And now we've solved the cure for cancer and the time-space continuum. Like, I'm like, what's going on? So this is where we're going. And like, if you're not utilizing it from a business standpoint, you are going to be in a year or two from now completely left behind.
Oh,
completely.
No, I agree.
So at least start integrating some basic tasks, start flexing the muscle memory and getting used to incorporating it. I'm sitting making dinner last night with my wife, and I think of something. Normally I'm like, oh, let me Google it and type. Nope. ChatGPT, dictate.
I don't even use Google anymore, really. Yeah. Like here and there. But
Google's the next Kodak. That's insane.
And interestingly enough, apparently Zillow is doing some sort of partnership with ChatGPT now. And I'm like, I haven't explored it. I read things.
Apple's, right? Apple doesn't have their act together on it.
So it will be interesting to watch how that works because I have tried for fun for myself. Describing what I want in ChatGPT to pull up a house that I love. Yeah. I want white kitchen cabinets. I want 5 bedrooms. I want it to be in this price, but whatever. And it will actually search for you and pull up specific listings. It's better, in my opinion, sorry, Zillow, than sometimes even going to Zillow. So I think
it's absolutely better. It does it for you. It's your assistant. Yeah. But a very capable, intelligent assistant.
So I think Zillow caught on. So they're like, how do we make this?
Well, try this on for size. Like together. If you're looking for a loan officer or a realtor in a specific marketplace where you're saying, hey, I've got 4 kids. We live in a 1,300 square foot home. I'm running out of room. We need to be in this school district. I need a realtor who's, let's say, I prefer to work with females. I need them to be a little bit more empathetic. I need XYZ in terms of traits and experience. Can you give me 5 choices? Because normally you're going online and you're kind of like grasping at straws and sifting in the dark blindfolded. Well, now it's like, oh, here you go. Like, what are you doing as a loan officer? What are you doing as a realtor to position yourself online?
Yeah, I mean, I think the riches are in the niches, right? So I would think, what is your niche and how do you position yourself really effectively within that niche? Yeah. So when that particular person is looking for you, they find you.
Yeah, it's super interesting. All right, ChatGPT.
This is fun.
So we're on a podcast right now. We're trying to show the power of you. And we're going to be hypothetically looking for a realtor, okay, in the Huntington Beach marketplace.
Oh, no.
We're a family with 2 kids, 3 dogs, 1 cat. We're both working parents. The boys love basketball. And my style and my wife's style is we don't like A-type, over-the-top abrasive personalities. I don't want to work with somebody too aggressive. I do want somebody who's assertive with at least 10 years experience that has done at least 100 transactions in their career. Can you point to a real estate agent that specializes in the Huntington Beach marketplace that understands Edison High School and Talbot Middle School in terms of like who we should be focusing on? Give me at least 3 to 5 choices. Search the internet, please. This is ridiculous, right? Like it's
fun, though.
So it's transcribing. That took 10 seconds. Now it's thinking longer for a better answer. Which
well, at least it takes its job
skip
seriously.
That, so I can press skip on that if I want to. But of course, why would I want to? Let's let it do its thing.
Yeah, do its job.
Yeah. But while we're waiting for this, the point is, a realtor, loan officer, this is where we're going. In its long, what is it? Long language. LLM, thank you. Now, if you're not owning your blog and your spaces with your website and, make sure they love lists, right?
They love a lot of words.
Yeah, words.
Quote, like in this case, Edison.
Yeah.
School district, like if you have stuff on them,
so if you're just going old school, I get it. You're going to be able to do the business that you already do. I'm not saying that, but over the course of the next 10 years, baby boomers are going to be phasing themselves out of life. Okay? The next generation is clearly going to be looking at this stuff. They're not going to be talking to, somebody who has zero ability technologically on this. So I'm not trying to be negative or condescending, but if you're not using this stuff, you should be.
Yeah.
I'm going to let it think.
I agree. Let it think.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're living in very interesting times, but I really find it fun.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I think it's scary, I'm not going to lie, but I think it's fun because you get to learn new things, you get to implement new things, you get to explore efficiencies. I think that's the number one thing I love about technology is just efficiency.
Yeah.
Like speed. So, for example, you're talking about websites. You can leverage AI to write all your blogs for you.
Yeah.
It could be outputting a blog for you a week on your website, and you don't have to do any work, and it's just upload, right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, while we're nerding out on this, and we will wrap up this podcast shortly. But
Sorry.
I get these long, granular, detailed reports on housing that are like the idea that I have the bandwidth, the attention span, or the time to read them thoroughly. Not going to happen. Okay. Never have, never will. I upload the PDFs to ChatGPT. And of course, I want to condense this down, not just for me, but for my sales team. Mm-hmm. And I say, hey, this giant report that no one's going to read.
No.
I need you to condense this down into a 30-second read on an easy, friendly to understand email.
It's the best.
Boom. Done.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I need it to be marketing friendly and a little bit fancier and more polished. Can you add some font and this and that? Oh, no problem. Done. Like,
yeah.
I'm just saying. Oh, here we go. I'm not going to name these realtors, by the way.
But it outputted them?
Yeah. And, but it did output them. And I'm looking at this list. Yeah, so fascinating. Interesting. I know every single one of these realtors because this is my marketplace.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at this. How I'd interview your assertive, non-aggressive fit.
How did it do that?
If you want,
Actually,
I can draft short intro emails, texts, or for any or all of the 5 above in your voice. Oh, come on. Come on. This is insane.
That part scares me.
The other thing about AI is you can spend 30 minutes giving a ChatGPT. I know a lot of people freak out over this, but you can spend 30 minutes giving ChatGPT your life story. You can upload your ancestry.com.
What does it do with your life story?
Well, it learns you.
Yeah.
It learns are you a more empathetic human being? Are you a highly sensitive person, right? It knows that about you. You can upload a bunch of emails that reflect who you are and your writing style, and it will emulate that for you. I mean, it's insane. Now a lot of people say, oh, I don't want you to know everything. I'm sorry.
Google already does.
Google already does. Your phone. When I'm talking to my wife about where we want to eat, I go on my phone, and there it is, right? I didn't type anything in.
It already knows.
So, like, if you don't think you're already being listened to, I give up. The good news is I'm a goofball and a normal person, so I got nothing to hide, right? Yeah, I'm not going to share these names, but I know every single one of them. And it's, I wouldn't say 100% spot on, so I can say, hey, this one doesn't work based on this one doesn't work based on that. But
it's a starting point.
But a couple of these, their first 1 and 2 choices were spot on.
Fascinating.
So it's just like, it's pretty cool. All right, well, let's wrap it up. Was there anything else?
No, I think we covered a wide variety of topics.
Yeah, it was cool. It's fun to go off the cuff.
It is
a little more authentic.
I like authenticity. Yeah. It's funny. I was talking to 2 different people maybe about 2 weeks ago, and both of them go, I really like the podcast style posts that you do. And I was like, why is that? And they're like, it's just you. Like, it's just you.
Yeah. It's really cool.
I like
long form discussion versus the canned script. I'm not a script guy, never will be. I'm not saying you don't already want to be prepared or whatever, but like this kind of stuff is what gives me energy.
I have to rip myself away from the script. I think there's some value in scripts, but
Well, you're going to find the more you do this, the less you need it, right? And I'm not saying I didn't want to do that in the beginning, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. So thank you for helping me get started.
Lauren Roberts, RE/MAX Select One. Thank you for spending time with us today. Thank you for all the education. We appreciate you.
Same.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Hey, that was pretty good.